Hello everyone, Serbucky here and welcome back to Storm Riders Thunder sound effect. After surviving the first rather underwhelming blood moon, I set up some morning build tasks for my villagers and have spent the rest of the night fishing because I have big plans for this episode, big plans that will be needing a lot of food. And I think I've got the lot of food side of things well taken care of. Now for the big plans. Alright, Sherry is going to be our barbecue chef because I have about 60 fish meat in need of cooking and I'm not about to spend all of my time doing that. There you are. I will take your tools and you can take the fish. Okay, first order of business is to rebuild the Eye of Odin for I think the third time now because I keep dismantling it and moving it a few feet in my constant redesigning and restructuring of this residential area. And as you can see, I also have requested a couple of wooden altars just to help keep the villagers nice and happy during their leisure time. I won't be building those, I'm just going to let the builders handle that, but I do want the eye up because that is central to my plans for today's episode. Big plans, lots to do, we've got to get cracking. So the last episode was about that big push into tier 2, getting our upgrades done and our infrastructure in place. And today's episode is all about growth. We need to grow our population as high as we can, as fast as we can. And for that, I need a lot of Yoten blood. And for a lot of Yoten blood, I need a cart, a sled. I missed the carts. We need a sled. But this big population spurt that I'm looking to have is because I want to start automating certain parts of the village. Firstly, food production. I don't want to be the one fishing every night and then cooking every morning, so I want that whole system automated. But we will also need another farm because we're playing on extended days, which means the crops are not only taking longer to grow, but our villagers are getting hungry at the same rate as they would on default time settings. And then another thing that we're going to have to build today is a cottage because obviously we have no room in our current one and we will be summoning a lot of villagers. They're going to need somewhere to live and sleep. Again, like I said, lots to do, big plans. I also want warehouses, but we'll touch on that later because I think my brain will melt if I do any more exposition. But there is our cart sled, so now let me empty out my bags. And also, I'm actually going to grab a brand new pickaxe because my current one is in poor condition and likely to break within 5 seconds. But okay, I am ready. I have my tool, I have my cart sled. So now let's go get the Yoten blood we need for my glorious plans. And yes, in the back of my mind, I will be keeping track on how cursed I am with the drop rate. Hey everyone, Serbucky here. Just a minute, I'm trying to think of what music to do. I didn't have to put this in, but I did. Oh no, that is way too foreboding. We are not exploring a secret cave here. No. Nope. No. 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 Have I ever even used that one? What the heck was that? No.
No, not that one.
Absolutely not. I found some herbivores. Also, not this track. Not this one. No. No, 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 no. Not this one. Oh, I can't think of one. Nope, the new year's come and gone, and I forgot to use the track when it was relevant. No, because that makes me want to say goodbye, because that is my outro music. Oh, Bucky, just choose a track. The montage is ending. All right, it is almost 4 o'clock in the evening, and I finished my Yoten run. I have achieved my goal. I have a sled full of Yoten blood. And, you know, I topped it off with some large stones. So I'm heading back. My builders are done. with their tasks. I asked them to build these 2 leisure things, so they are finished with that. And it looks like Sherry over at the campfire and the barbecue pit has finished cooking all of the fish meat. And oh my gosh, that is a lot of cooked fish meat. Thank you so much, Sherry. We will take you off work duty here so you can become a builder, because we are about to request a whole bunch of new things get built. But before we do, let's go ahead and start summoning villagers. And I'm going to try to start summoning these guys back to back. Winter and Nocturnal Resilience, Monk Body, and Mighty Vigor. That is just the worst combo, because this means they have a lot of strength. They'll be great as a warrior, but this means they have less health. I think it's 100 less health, so absolutely not, Magnus. We are going with Hjalmar, who is going to be an absolute beast in the wintertime, courtesy of those 2 cold resistance perks out the gate. That is an interesting roll right there. But okay, villager on the way. They will be homeless, so it is time to build another cottage, and I am thinking of extending it over here towards the tree line. We're going to have to do a lot of landscaping, but that is what we expected coming into this playthrough. That is part of the new build philosophy. And the edges will be a little bit steep and a little bit awful to begin with, but eventually they will be smoothened out with gates, roads, and fences and things like that. Or, you know, just a bunch of planted trees to hide them. I'm not looking forward to fixing this angle where the road then goes down towards the industrial area, but as I always say, that is a problem for later me. And frankly, present me has enough problems, because this is episode 3, and in the outro of episode 2, I kicked off the Misfortune. So I know at this point in time, you guys have probably voted on them already, and I should probably be thinking about getting a bit nervous about what the results will be. Looks like we got a few tree stumps in the way. The devs never did get round to fixing the woodcutters attacking. They should attack them. The devs never really got round to fixing the woodcutters harvesting or not harvesting the tree stumps, even though saying they have fixed it a couple of times already. Whoops. Time for the cottage, and I'm thinking about facing it the other way, because I do like to have a little bit of angular variety in my villages. A term I just made up. I don't want everything facing the same way, except for the altars, because they fit. But I really underestimated how wide to make this flat piece of land, so I'm going to use the cottage to extend it just a little bit further. Okay, let's have this leveled and our builders putting it together. There's Hjalmar. Oh, he is... Hang on a minute. He's amazing. Winter resilience, nocturnal resilience, cold resistant. Hjalmar can literally work naked in a blizzard, and to him it would feel like he was sitting in a warm summer's stream. Absolutely phenomenal stats for Hjalmar, so I'm just going to put him immediately on the farm. And although he doesn't have the night shadow perk where he prefers working at night, nights are colder, and he's again going to feel like he's just sitting in a sauna while there's a blizzard out or something. So we're gonna go with that. Absolutely, I've never seen that before. Look at those perks though. Honestly, I've never seen anything like that. Now he is currently homeless, but he's also working on the night shift, so it's not going to be a huge problem, at least until tomorrow. But let's go ahead and try and get this cottage built fast, while also summoning our next villager. Remember, I'm going to try and do back to back as often as possible. Wildling and Blossom Tender, Hydration Expert, and probably Gassy. Let's go with Ando, because if he gets an archery perk to go with that Wildling, that is our hunter locked and almost loaded. But okay, the cottage is 2 out of 4 stages, 4 sticks left of the current stage. All of our villagers are happily sitting down at our new altars that we have built for them. But, you know, nighttime is here, so while they bugger off to bed, I am going to finish off this cottage, I guess. Editor Bucky again. I got one, don't worry. Okay, so what I am doing now with my new arrivals is I am leveling out, extending the flat land down by the woodcutter and the stonecutter and the workshop. Not only to make room for the eventual workshop extensions, but to build our first warehouse. And I know I kind of skimmed over it in the intro, but I do want some warehouses up because we are limited right now to 12 logs and 12 long sticks. And a lot of what I have in mind build-wise over the next couple of episodes are going to need a lot more resources. So having a small stockpile at the very least would mean that we're not going to run into any raw material, bottlenecks. And we'll do the same sort of thing over in the farming area once I'm done here, because we will obviously want to be stockpiling our flax and our vegetables, because they are probably going to be harvested tomorrow. Pretty sure tomorrow. Looking like it has potential. That was certainly a very, very long night. I'll deal with the storages inside later. Let's go ahead and assign our new villagers to the new cottage and then get a bite to eat because I'm a little bit peckish. 4 new villagers. Again, very productive night. Now let's go ahead and give them some better names. Frostar, Tabitha, Balco, and Ben. Lots of Bens. I like doing this because now you get to fight amongst yourself about which Ben I mean, and I want you all to know that each of you is the right one. Holy potato. Somebody feed me a potato before I die. My hunger bar is flashing. Excuse me, Sherry. Sherry, mind out the way. Sorry, I need to eat something. This is an emergency. Oh, this is why you do staggered schedules, everyone, when you get a bigger population, because they just absolutely dive-bombed the barbecue there. And they ate everything. And I caught 60 or so, and it lasted a day. Yeah, I need a fisher. Okay, so let's give our builders a couple of things to do while I am out and about this morning. First off, I want an extension to the warehouse down here. And then in the section that we built already, I would like to begin with just a log storage. Because like I said a little bit earlier, I want to avoid any bottlenecks of any resources. And logs are one of those bottlenecks since everything we build in tier 2 takes them. But I do want to go out again really quickly to get a little bit more Yoten blood because we have 2 beds in the cottage where we can put 2 more villagers. And, the whole point of this episode is to grow our population. So let's go out and get some more. Don't know why I'm bringing the cart sled. I only need 10, but I'm kind of committed now with it. And one more job for the builders for while I'm out. Let's put down a fisher's hut because I do not have the time to do the fishing anymore. Oh, and spring ends in 3 extended minutes. So our new fisher's only going to be catching perch. So we might need another fisher or 2, to be honest. But, we'll start with 1 and we'll play it by ear. For now, it's back out to the wild to get the Yoten blood for 2 more villagers. And then after that, a little visit to the farm because I want to see if we've had our harvest yet. I'm super excited for that. We absolutely need the fibers. Kind of overshot it on the Yoten blood. I actually did get quite lucky. I want to pay a quick visit to the farm. Ooh, that wasn't a smart idea. I want to pay a quick visit to the farm to see how things are going. And they look to be quite nice. I think he just broke his rake. He better get it back because those weeds are just horrific. 66%. That's looking good. And over 70 over here. Yes, we are getting our flax harvest today. It's going to be grand. While I'm here, I'm going to put down another shelter because we do have that second farmer now working out here. The one who is completely immune to the cold. Got to keep the builders busy. Do I have a villager with the foragers perk yet? I can't remember. No, we still don't have anyone with a foraging perk. That's kind of a bummer. That's kind of weird as well. It's usually one of the most common ones I get. All right, let's head back, summon some villagers. I'm looking for a fisher perk and I'm looking for a forager's perk. That would be essentially the answer to my prayers right now. Okay, everybody start collectively thinking about a fisher or a forager, and we'll see if the power of friendship can make it happen. It works! Although it would have been hilarious if we had gotten somebody with the fishing and the foraging perk, and then I was forced to choose. Okay, next it is time for a cooking hut. It is something that I've delayed a little bit longer than I should have, but I'm not used to playing extended days. But since our villagers burned through all of the cooked fish meat, it's time to just start preparing soups and forcing them to eat it even if they're level 1. And it really is much, much more filling than eating just the raw meat. So as for where, I don't want to go in this direction because that's where I want my gardens to go, and eventually, you know, the extension of the residential area I can see pushing through that clearing. So instead, I'm thinking, oh, you know what I'm thinking now that I'm looking this way is perhaps having a nice tiered system, sort of like what we did in the Gates of Helheim series. Do you remember we had the residential area on the top of the big hill, and then below that we had our cooking and farming area, and it looked really, really good. So yes, that's what I'm going to do here. So let's go ahead and drag out the height of this residential area. I like using what I call pilot lines with the terraforming tool just to get an idea of if I've chosen the right height or not. About there looks fan-bloody-tastic. And we'll just leave that tagged for now. I don't want to confirm. I want to get an eyeballing because I want to try and get it in line with the slope we've already made. Q and E. Toggle it slightly. Oh, I wish it was a little less sensitive. Oh, yeah. That looks good. That looks good for our pilot line. So let's go ahead, confirm that, and see how it looks. Yes, I think that's going to look quite nice once we put in some fences, some paved roads, a few decorations. I think that's going to look really quite lovely. So let's go ahead and fill in the rest of the area that we need to build on. And while my villagers get started on that, I will chop these trees down because they're in my way. Don't worry, we will replace them with very, very fake ones. Well, the terrain tool has stopped working. The height difference is too great. So let's go ahead and switch to the most trusty watchtower. Still a little bit wonky on the bottom, but we'll just cut it straight with the terrain tool on the bottom level. It's much easier to cut away in a straight line than it is to cut a straight line from above. So yep, let's go ahead, get this cooking hut down. I'm excited for the soup. I'm excited for the improved efficiency and all of that good stuff. We're really, really coming along. And let's remember to put it a little bit away from the edge so I do have enough room for any decorations, or at the very least a nice accent fence. I love my little accent flimsy fences. You probably know that by now. I use them all the time. 22 extended seconds until our new arrival comes, and we do want the fisher next. I'm going to use the same friendship magic to guarantee that. So let's go ahead and quickly build a nice little path from this area to the fishing hut. I also feel like if I'm around the fisherman's hut before I summon a villager, then we'll get a fisher villager, because I was around the forager last time before summoning a villager, and I've made it my headcanon that that is going to work. I'm believing in it. If you believe in it, it will happen probably. Hello and welcome, Andorra. Holy mackerel, you've got some good traits. The forager's perk, which we knew winter resilience and the snow strider with additional stamina. Yeah, she is a born forger. What? We're getting some good villager perks this whole series so far, actually. I don't think I've gotten a crappy one, except for, you know, a bunch of Storm Rider uneases in a Storm Riders series. But, you know, for the most part, we are doing exceptional on our villager perks. Okay, Fisher perk next. Well, you know what? Before I press that button, I'm going to give Andorra a home because I want the game to like me even more than it does already. Okay. Fisher, that's all I need. We have one more bed, one more villager summoned. Give me a Fisher. Please, I don't ask for much. Corpse harvester job, please. Summer. That is a summer angler and it's summer. That is fantastic. That is the gods just being nice for a change. When was the last time this game gave me anything nice? It usually just takes what I want, gives me the opposite, and then laughs in my face repeatedly. How are we looking down here at our little warehouse? We're looking great. Let's go ahead and assign someone to this. And I don't know who I want because we've gotten some really good villagers with some really good perks. So maybe the person we put in here is going to be a temporary one because everyone is just, look at them. They've all got such great perks. We'll start with Aminka, even though I'm pretty sure she'll become a warrior at some point with that bear power and that nocturnal resilience buff. But we had to start somewhere. Right, let's add a few more storages to this because I did get a whole bunch of flax on my Yoten blood run. So there is some stick storage. Bark storage. And I like them facing a particular way, even though it doesn't matter. Oh wow, my builders are extremely fast today. Look at them. They're already finishing up the stick one and it's been there a second. Okay, next is thatch. And then finally, firewood. Not done. Actually, I have to do the regular long sticks as well, and I hate doing this one because it is a weird length, and I know you guys laugh at me because I'm not allowed to go over the lines, and it has to be even at the same time. I do this to myself. Maybe that could be a future misfortune. Bucky has to make a warehouse that's all wonky with the storages going over the lines and in a terribly odd arrangement. Honestly, though, I would really hate that. Okay, it is almost 9. We have absolutely no food and our fisher doesn't arrive for 2 minutes, so I guess I am back on fishing duty, although this should be the last time I go out. And it's a bit of a shame because it's summer, so I'm not going to be catching those big, juicy pike anymore. I'm going to be catching those tiny, uninspiring little perch that only give 1 measly little fish meat. But that's why we have the cooking hut, and now when I do catch some fish, I'll be able to learn the fish soup recipe, and that'll just be much better for everybody. I just realized that I never moved our new farmer, Ben, you know, the guy who was completely immune to the cold. I never moved him to that new shelter I had built over at the farms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon another villager. And of course it's going to be yet another farmer. But what I could do is I'll head over to the farms now, assign Ben to the new shelter, maybe build another shelter for Emmeline that we are just summoning now. But since we do have that crop harvest coming up probably at some point tomorrow, I have nice big plans for that farming area. And there you go. Ben is now living here, which means we have 1 more space at that cottage. Ah, I should have done that a while ago. I am on a roll. I'm on fire. I am a fireball rolling down a hill. So productive this episode. Absolutely proud of myself. But here is our supporting warehouse for our farm. So it's going to be having that raw food, that flax. Ooh, I can't put that there right now. I need to do a little bit more landscaping. But we can fix that really, really quickly. So the plan for today, and I guess the last day on the episode, I've really been enjoying this. I think I've gone on for a bit too long. I think the archery range is the better call here. But anyway, the plan for today is to pull out all of this flat land a lot further so that I can A, finish off this warehouse that I cannot finish off right now, and B, build a second farm. Because we are playing that extended day setting, so our crops are taking a lot longer to come through than they would on the default setting, so we do need to have more food production. All right, that is all I need there. Let's go ahead and get rid of the archery range blueprint. I've also made a note in my brain to put down a third shelter, because remember when we moved Ben out here and freed up a space at the cottage, we summoned another villager who was a farmer. So she has to come and live out here too, which means I don't think I'll have time for it. But if I can get another villager, that would be just fantastic. I don't think I'll have the time for that one though. So shelter first, because that is a very quick build. I think we can squeeze it in behind here. We will eventually have a cottage and then eventually a longhouse out here, but for speed, for convenience, that will do. All right, next, extend the warehouse, and once that's done, we'll be adding storage to the warehouse. Right-io, time for some good old storage. I hope I have enough. I don't think I have enough rope for this. We'll just put it down anyway and just hope for the best. Although I can see the flax harvest from here and it looks almost done. It's quite big. So I'm not going to go too crazy on the storages right now. We'll just do 2 raw food and then 2 small crafting. That is just going to be for our flax. And then I think I'm just going to stop there. I'm not going to add the tools. I'm not going to add the seeds. I'm not going to add the water. Not just yet. I want to see if these get made first. So it's time to drag out this area some more so that we can have some nice flat land for our farm. You know, I'm going to cover this nice open field with a field on which to build fields. That's really, if you break it down, that's what I'm doing. It makes no sense. All right, my small army of builders has prepared the land. So now let's go ahead and put down farm number 2. And I want to face it. You know what? I'm going to face it the other way. Get a bit of variety of shapes down here. Make everything look a little bit different. I think there looks good. Probably. Oh no, it uses 12 of my 14 rope. That's all I have. Or is it? Those flax plants look bigger than last time I looked. Woohoo! We got the flax! I am so happy right now. That is the best timing ever. This game usually hates me. Over 200 fibers and more on. I don't want to harvest it myself. I'm not going to harvest as much as the farmer, but that is such good news. Oh, this has been a fun episode. I kind of don't want it to end, but honestly, I've been recording for several hours now. This is going to be a long episode. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get this farm up. It's farm, field, beautification, done. Okay, so for 2 of the new fields, we'll be doing the min-max crop rotation, which is berries in the spring and summer, carrots in the fall, and then beetroot in the winter. Then my 3rd and final field on the new farm is going to be a healing field, because I go on a lot of shenanigans and I always come back beaten up, scratched, and missing a few teeth. So this field is going to be split, growing both garlic and onion from spring through to fall. And then again, beetroot in the winter. And look at that. Rose is already hard at work. We do need to get her a friend. Otherwise, she's probably going to get overwhelmed with weeds. But that is up to the Eye of Odin on when it wants to give us another farmer. For now, for now I need to go back to the main village because I, again, am flashing red with hunger. I really hope Sherry has been working on the soups because although I put the production chain together, I never checked on it. I kind of just assumed things would work out. Given the history of this channel is almost never. Sherry is a lifesaver. Sherry is a busy one. We have an entire shelf of food. I am so relieved right now. Oh, thank you, Sherry, for saving my life today. And here is Ray the fisher, and even though we are just catching perch with the one fish meat, we already have an absolute abundance of fish soup. Now that is a big relief. Happy about that. I'm going to head back to the farm now. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, which means everyone will be going to sleep shortly, except for our nighttime cold immune farmer. But while everyone is in bed, I think I'm going to start beautifying the farming area. I have neglected it a bit, where in the main village I have been adding those altars and contouring a bit more with the landscaping. Here I feel like I've just put things down nicely, but not really sort of like expanded on it. So yeah, that's the plan. I want to start with a fence. We have plenty of fibers now to make the rope with, and I have an abundance of sticks at the raw materials warehouse that I completely forgot to bring with me. But just as I expected, the woodcutter on stick priority is just going across the beach and grabbing so much driftwood. So we are overflowing on sticks too. So yeah, we'll start off with a nice fence, and that'll be a lovely way to just wrap up a very fun episode. Nothing terrible happened. Bugger.